Hello, everybody. Welcome back to episode 15 of the Wolf campaign Past Echoes. We continue. The stone threshold of the shrine yawns open before you like a forgotten mouth in the hillside. Its breadth stale, with age and secrets long buried. Flanked by wary guards, Wolf stands as the wind steers ivy and ash. A whisper from the dark below, beckoning the blood of Ashward home once more. So, slight update to the prompt. This is a reminder. It's already in the instructions. But basically, I want to start off with the story hack as the following. Story hack: as the team, the guards, and Wolf were on their way to the shrine, Wolf sees several individuals on the rooftops with arrows drawn, aimed at them. This is the Veil. More of them start to appear, cornering our hero. Okay, so before we actually get to the shrine, we're going to be ambushed, essentially. Let's see what happens. There we go. Had to refresh my internet. As you cross the final stretch toward the shrine's arched entrance, a chilling rustle of movement above steals your attention. Figures cloaked in ember-trimmed black emerge atop the surrounding rooftops, bows already drawn, their silhouettes cut jagged shapes against the clouded sky. One guard raises his shield with a bark curse as a second squad appears behind, encircling your path in perfect silence. The Ashen Veil has sprung their trap, and Wolf stands at the smoldering heart. Okay, so I think let's ask how many are there? How many total Ashen Veils are there? Yeah, this stupid thing does not know what I'm saying. Probably better off typing in some moments. Okay, from every angle they reveal themselves. Five on the rooftops, three emerge from the alley shadows behind, and two more stepping from the shrine's edge, making 10 in total, a full hunting circle of Ashen Veil, each positioned with practiced precision, as if this moment has been rehearsed. Okay, so let's see, what do I got here? Hunter's Patience, Stunts, Dancer in Close Quarters, Ashford Scroll, hmm, Wrist Dart Launcher. Oh, and there's two of us and Wolf. But we're outnumbered. And there is only two guards accompanying Wolf. Let's say that the archives surprise them also, willing to help us, but at a cost. It's a standoff. From the gloom beneath the hanging canopy of lantern ropes, figures in gray trim robes bearing the sigil of the Ember Archive steps forward, three of them masked and hooded, their hands glowing with restraint glyph light. They flank the veil from the market side, evening the odds but not breaking the tension, as one speaks in a calm, echoing tone. We will aid the Ashward, but our knowledge comes with a price and memory. A standoff unfolds, steel glinting, spells whispering at the edge of the release, Wolf squarely in the center of a storm between what was buried and those who would claim it. As Wolf prepares for a potential conflict with his daggers ready, he shouts, "Yes, I know, the scroll." Oh, I'm going to assume that's what they want. Wolf's voice cuts through the rising tension like a blade through smoke. "Yes, I know the scroll." And for a heartbeat, every arrowless string loosens, every rune dims, the Ashville hesitate, and the archives lean closer. Even the wind itself seems to rush, as if the very city holds its breath at the truth now loosed in the air. Wolf of Ashward heir not only to a name, but to a secret all sides were desperate to keep buried. Interesting. Let's say story hack. After Wolf shouts it, some of the Vale members start chattering amongst themselves. Can Wolf catch something of what they say? Probably a notice roll, I'm assuming. Almost forgot my dice roller. Okay, as Wolf's declaration ripples through the standoff, two of the rooftop Vale archers turn toward each other, one lowering their bow slightly as tension fractures their unity. A sharp whisper floats down, "He's not supposed to know yet," followed by another harsher voice, "If he speaks the seal aloud, the chamber will open, and we're not ready." Wolf hears it clearly, the truth not just whispered, but weaponizes. Even the shadows above begin to steer with uncertainty. Let's actually roll to see if Wolf can catch any of it. I'd rather throw in a roll here than just because they're up top. They're a few floors high. Roll notes to overcome difficulty +3 to catch whispering exchange between the Veil members above. Okay, so we have notice and +2 on that roll. Oh, good. We got a total of 4. Total of 4. Total of 4. Okay, interesting. So with a total of 4, Wolf hears the sharp exchange with perfect clarity. He's not supposed to know yet, followed by, "If he speaks the seal aloud, the chamber will open and we're not ready." Words that coil in the air like smoke and sharpen Wolf's position with sudden leverage in the delicate standoff. Interesting. Okay, so Wolf, let's say, puts away one dagger, slowly shows the scroll from behind his vest, trying to see the reactions of either surrounding uh, surrounding party. He's going to toy with them. He's got the scroll. That's our stunt. As Wolf reveals the scroll like a priest unveiling a relic, the veil recoils slightly, some stepping back, others shifting stances uneasily, while the archive envoys lean in, their glyphs pulsing brighter with hungry interest. The guards at Wolf's side exchange wary glances as the silence deepens again. And for a fleeting moment, Wolf holds not just a relic, but a dominion, other every breath drawn in the square. The guards mutter, apparently confused as to why they're not attacking. Whispers, he has leverage. He has something they want. So here is the situation. The archives are not a threat. They're somewhat opposing force, but they are willing to remain a neutral party as long as we play along. The Veil, they are the actual threat, an opposing force, willing to do whatever they need to do to get the scroll. So they're both essentially want the scroll. The lead guard mutters under his breath, "Could have told me of that before we marched into a death ring," but holds his blade steady, eyes scanning both factions as he nods subtly, acknowledging that whatever Wolf carries is keeping the blood from spilling for now. Hmm. What to do here? I believe that this is a tough one. We're in a spot where we're surrounded. We got the scroll. I wonder if we actually should open the scroll. Wolf Okay, let's do this. Wolf slowly op unravels the scroll while holding it tightly, monitoring both parties. I think Wolf is going to toy with him here. As Wolf unfurls the scroll with delicate, deliberate care, the ancient parchment breathes open like a relic awakened, ink glowing faintly along etched signals. I don't know how to pronounce sigils that shimmer with ancestry memory. The veils shift uneasily, some lowering their weapons while the archive agents take an unconscious step forward, their masked faces betraying hunger beneath discipline. Each word revealed seems to tighten the noose of truth around everyone present. All right, so I think I was just experimenting to see how these paragraphs come out, and I think I'm going to let the AI talk from here, and I will type out my responses because when I use the speech to text button, it dings, and that's rather annoying or loud in my headphones. So let me enable the audio for that, and we'll go from here. So let's say that uh, what does the text on the scroll say? If it is foreign to Wholf, let's do a lore roll. All right, let's oh, this one we can just, yeah, lore overcome, great for interpret the foreign script. Okay, yeah, I don't have to play that back. You guys can obviously see that. So we'll do a lore check with a +4 difficulty. So we have a +2 on our lore roll. Um, can I invoke lessons burned into bone? Let's try that. Can I invoke lessons burned into bone? I think that's going to be a yes. Yes, you may invoke for +2 to the roll, reflecting training and inherited knowledge from Edrin. All right, that works. That's what I thought. So we have +4 now bonus total. Here we go. We're shooting for +4. That's 5. Okay, total of 5. We are not speaking the words out loud, just reading internally. Well, just reading it to ourselves. Total 5. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let's listen.
With a total of 5, Wholf deciphers the scroll's language, old Ashwood sigils woven with a forgotten dialect of sealing rites. The message reads like a ritual primer, inscribed with a phrase repeatedly. The blood-bound vault accepts only the voice of remembrance. Speak, and the ember will awaken. The words hum beneath his breath, not spoken aloud, yet already the veil begin to tense, sensing that the key is now fully understood.
Okay, so story hack. One of the Vale Scout leaders shouts not to read the scroll out loud, you fool. Okay, I'm really interested to see what happens if we do read it out loud. Here we go.
Story hack accepted. A Veiled Scout leader near the edge of the shrine rooftop shouts with sudden panic, "Don't read it aloud, you fool!" His voice cracking the silence like a whip, revealing fear deeper than duty, and turning every eye toward Wholf, as if the scroll itself had just begun to breathe.
No.
Okay, I think Wolf is beginning to understand here that this scroll is either not worth the trouble, could cost lives, and it's only bringing him trouble itself. So Wolf begins to realize that this scroll is only causing harm to himself. Okay, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Story hack accepted. A Veiled Scout leader near the edge of the
Oh,
shrine
sorry.
rooftop
Let me
shouts.
play it back. Let's see. Okay, so begins to realize scroll is only causing harm to himself. He is tempted to tear it in half. Here we go. Want to make this interesting. Want to make it almost chaotic.
The parchment trembles slightly in Wholf's grip as if reacting to the thought itself. Arcane warmth pulses through his fingers, not threatening, but binding. Whispers rise faintly at the edge of hearing, not from the crowd but from the scroll, as though it knows what he's about to do and mourns it. Around him, tension surges, The veil shifting, the archives watching, and somewhere in the far back of his mind the question lingers. What will be freed if it breaks?
Yeah. Okay, so here is where we kind of hint at Jory being the double agent. He's, like I said earlier, it's a hidden story arc or hack. He is the leader of the Veil, the Ashen Veil. So, out of, let's say, another story hack, out of nowhere, Jory appears with his staff and summons some kind of blinding light to at the Veil themselves. So Jory just jumps right in, attempting to stop.
Story hack accepted. Without warning, a crackling pulse of radiant light erupts across the square as Jory steps from behind a column with his staff raised high, releasing a wave of blinding brilliance directly at the Veil archers. Cries of surprise ring out as several stumble back or shield their eyes, arrows clattering to the ground. His sudden intervention shifts the standoff into chaos, and every faction now reaches instinctively for steel or spell.
Okay, so Jory quickly approaches Wolf, questioning what is he doing with the scroll revealed. He's not trying to break his identity just yet, but he's cautious. He's
Jory
worried.
rushes to Wholf's side, eyes flicking between the glowing scroll and the reeling factions, hissing through clenched teeth. What are you doing?
Oh,
You know, showing that thing's like waving fire in a powder house. Are you trying to start a war or open something you can't shut?
all right, so Wolf responds saying he realizes this thing is causing more harm, more trouble than it's worth. All right, now there's going to be this little divide between the two. So Jory's eyes narrow. It's short, but let's see. Let's read it out.
Jory's eyes narrow, voice lowering as the light fades. Then maybe it's not about keeping it. It's about controlling what it unlocks, or deciding who gets to.
Wolf, okay, so Wolf becomes slightly cautious of Jory's sudden hmm, care or sudden worry for the scroll. All right, let's see. I want to see how the AI, Crutch AI, drives this.
Noticing Jory's sharp tone and sudden protectiveness over the scroll, Wholf's instincts flare. A flicker of doubt coils in his gut as he tightens his grip slightly, eyes narrowing just enough to study Jory's face beyond the concern.
Okay, should Wolf roll here to analyze Jory for a split moment? Roll empathy with difficulty 3. All right, so let's roll empathy, which is +1. Ah, that's 0. Okay, flat roll of 0. So we're still, I think, Wolf is he's too good. Jory's definitely a professional poker player. He's bluffing.
With a result of 0, Wholf cannot read past Jory's urgency. His concern appears genuine, but whether it's worry for the scroll, the situation, or something deeper, remains obscured behind practiced expressions.
Perfect. So that's where we're going to leave it for now. Not this episode, but we're going to leave that situation that plot twist later for Jory. He's playing it cool. He's playing his disguise well, but this moment could have broke him. Could have broke the cover. Joy pushes, attempts to roll the scroll back into Wolf's pocket, telling him to hide it and fight the veil while his spell is limiting. So, huh,
Jory reaches out smoothly, fingers guiding the scroll back toward Wholf's vest with practiced precision, whispering, "Hide it now. We hold them off while the light blinds them." His tone urgent but steady as the arcane glow flickers at its edge.
all right. The, let's see, archives notice the scroll is not, let's see, not, how to word this. The scroll is raveled or back in Wolf's possession, prompting them to attack the veil. The guards try to process what is happening, as magic is not exactly their strong suit, or not exactly their specialty. Wolf pulls out his bow and turns around to the nearest Veil member. I should say back in Wolf's pocket. All right, here we go.
As the archives unleash a volley of glowing sigils toward the veil, arcs of pale energy streak through the air. The guards stumble back, caught between chaos and confusion, shouting fragmented orders as steel clashes with spell. Wholf, with trained precision, draws his bow, pivoting into the rising maelstrom and taking aim at the closest veil scout scrambling across a rooftop, loosing an arrow just as they recover from the blinding blast.
Okay, so Wolf takes a shot at the nearest. Oh, you know what? We have our bow, but I have the wrist start launcher. I forgot. We'll save that for later. Okay. Nearest Veil. Okay. Uh, we got the roll.
Wholf's arrow.
No, we have to roll for it. We have to roll attack. I almost forgot. That's why we have to also co-GM here at times. Roll shoot to attack, difficulty +2, rooftop target, declare any stunts being used. It's kind of chaotic right now, so we're not going to really use any stunts in the moment. So let's pull out our dice roller. We have shoot at +2. Plus that's +3 total. Okay, 3 total. There we go. Now it can describe what just happened. Anything with one shift? Up to win the Veil Scout, knock them off balance as they stagger on the rooftop's edge. Okay. What does Jory do? All right.
Jory sweeps his staff in a sharp arc, casting a widening ward of force between Wholf and the advancing veil, then hurls a focused burst of flame at a second scout's feet, forcing them to retreat behind cover.
Okay. So I was hoping to use the advanced voice mode for this latter half of the episode. I should have enough time for probably 15 minutes, so let's try it out. I'm going to pause the video and get this set up. Okay, Wolf is going to strike again at the next Veil member.
With swift precision, Wholf notches another arrow and releases it toward the next veil member. The arrow slices through the air, finding its mark as the veil scout tries to reposition, the impact sending a ripple of surprise through their ranks. The tension on the rooftop intensifies as Wholf's relentless accuracy keeps the Vale on edge, each shot reinforcing his determination to protect the scroll and unravel the mysteries surrounding it.
As the Vale members
Jory lifts his staff and slams its butt into the ground, releasing a burst of force aimed to knock back two advancing Vale footmen, creating an opening in the melee.
Sorry, guys, lost audio there for a second, but basically we're now going to strike the two on the ground. Roll fight to attack, +2, dancing, so that's a plus, at a +3 difficulty. We have fight +4, and then stunt, which is +6. Here we go. That's a 4. Perfect. Okay, total of 4. Okay, lands a solid hit on the Veil Agent, dealing with -1, a 1 minus shift wound, forcing them to tumble back, clutching their side defensively. Okay, let's see. What is the status of the archive members? Are holding formation. Let's see.
The archive members are holding formation near the edge of the square, two maintaining a barrier ward while the third casts focused bursts of light fire at Vale agents, currently keeping their side of the field under control.
What about the guards? Let's see. They remain near Wholf, blades drawn but uncertain primary holding position, protecting their flanks while trying to avoid magic crossfire. All right. Let's speed this up. So let's say that the archives are overpowering the veil, let's see, causing them to retreat once again. There we go.
The tide shifts swiftly as the archive's wardcasters tighten their line, pressing forward with disciplined precision. Streaks of light fire slam into rooftop and alley, and one Vale cries out for retreat. Within moments, the remaining Vale agents vanish into smoke-laced alleys and rooftops, scattering into the city's underbelly like shadows peeled from stone.
Okay. So Wholf puts away his daggers and assesses the damage. Also speaks to Jory.
Wholf sheathes his blades, scanning the scene. Smoke thinning, wounded Vale scattered, guards shaken but upright, and turns to Jory, saying, "This isn't about the scroll anymore. It's about what they're afraid I'll become."
Jory also Jory corrects Wholf more so what exactly is beneath Ashford. the scroll's a key to whatever's below Ashward.
Jory adjusts his grip on the staff, his voice low but sharp. It's not just you, Wholf. It's whatever's buried beneath Ashward that has them crawling out of every shadow.
Okay, so then a archive member, whoops, an archive member jumps down from the rooftop and reveals his hood, approaches Wolf, and says the following. Archives agent.
The archive agent lands with a heavy thud, hood falling back to reveal a scarred, elven face etched with age and arcane ink. He steps toward Wholf, eyes steady, and says, "You've crossed a line of remembrance few are allowed to see. The archives will not stop you, but we must witness what you choose to unearth."
Hmm. Okay, so while we are chatting, the captain of the guard and his remaining soldiers appear seconds later, noticing or mentioning they saw the fireworks. All right, this is getting really good, despite that hiccup from earlier. Mainly on my technical side of things.
Captain Thorne strides in with his cloak billowing, a line of guards at his back, eyes sharp as he surveys the scorched stone and lingering magic. He stops beside Wholf and grunts. "Saw the fireworks from the barracks. Was hoping they were ceremonial. Clearly I was wrong."
So the guards who accompanied Wolf fill in the captain about what just transpired. The captain begins to have a negative perspective on Wolf's presence and that scroll. But he does appreciate the help to some degree. I mean, we did lose the one suspect they were after. It's just kind of torn now.
As the guards speak quickly, detailing the ambush and the scroll's effect, Captain Thorne's expression hardens. He folds his arms, eyes narrowing on Wholf, and says, "You bring trouble wherever you walk, Ashward, but you swing sharp when it counts. I'll give you that much."
Let's see. The captain also mentions that they still never caught the original perp. I have an idea for this part. It's going to be a certain someone, which kind of gives away to our secret twist.
Captain Thorne glances toward the shadowed tunnel entrance, jaw clenched, and mutters, "And in all that chaos our original runner slipped through, still at large, still a problem."
Moments later, that Jory then has captured a certain Veil member, dragging him out of the shadows, confusing everybody. Well, mostly Wolf.
The crowd parts as Jory emerges from a shadowed archway, dragging a wounded Veil agent by the collar with a calm, unreadable expression. Wholf catches the flicker of unfamiliar intensity in his eyes as gasps ripple through the guards and archives alike, no one quite sure whether to be relieved or unnerved by Jory's sudden reappearance.
Jory tosses the Veil member, Herp, who is, let's say, magically found not to move onto the ground. The captain looks pleased. There we go.
Captain Thorne steps forward, a rare smirk tugging at his scarred cheek as he eyes the bound Vale agent sprawled in the dirt, nodding to Jory with a grunt of approval. Didn't expect you to bring me a gift, but I won't refuse one that bleeds Vale.
Let's see. Notices this perp is the original. Uh, yeah, the original. That's all.
Captain Thorne's smirk fades into sharp recognition as he steps closer, eyes narrowing. That's him, he mutters, kneeling to inspect the captive, the runner from the tunnel. By the 9, you caught him after all.
Jory mentions it was all thanks to Wolf. But Wolf seems doubtful. He's trying to basically maintain the positive expression or reputation that Wolf has on the guard or could have on the guard, perhaps for his own benefit.
Jory claps a hand on Wholf's shoulder and says, he cornered the chaos so I could do the quiet work. But Wholf's brow furrows slightly, the praise feeling too polished, too precisely placed, as if meant for an audience beyond the captain's ears.
Yeah. All right. The captain thanks Wolf as he grabs the perp off the ground. Okay, so this is unraveling pretty well. I think we're getting to the point where the twist might be not the twist, but where we go to the village. Well,
Captain Thorne hauls the bound Vale agent to his feet with a grunt and nods firmly to Wholf, saying, like it or not, Ashwood, you've just done this city a favour it won't forget.
so let's ask the GM. GM question: how much more time till we meet with the archives? Archives. It's next day. You're currently midway through the second day with the meeting scheduled just after midday on the third day, meaning roughly one half day remains before. I thought it was two before. Let's just say it's today. Let's hack that. Say the remaining archive members leave, but one familiar female, I forgot her name, female face reveals itself and mentions the promised meet time. Excuse me. All right.
As the archive agents begin to withdraw, one figure lingers. Valessa, hood down, steps into view with her usual composed grace and says plainly, Ashwood, your time remains tomorrow midday. Do not mistake today's fire for an early invitation.
All right. Wolf smiles, having an apparent uh, calm demeanor with her around. Jory catches this, split between laughing but not forgetting his true intent in all of this. Wolf likes her, but I think Jory is still trying to balance, do the balancing act here between being a friend and the eventual supervillain.
Valessa arches a brow at Wholf's calm smile, offering the faintest nod in return before vanishing into the shifting street fog. Jory watches the exchange in silence, the corner of his mouth twitching with amused suspicion, though behind his eyes the weight of his secret flickers with renewed resolve.
Hmm. Okay, so Wolf cleans himself off and asks for suggestion. to Jory on what to do next. Visit the village. Wholf cleans himself off.
Jory adjusts his cloak and replies, "If you're asking me, heading back to the ruins might be our best move, before someone else gets there first and decides to dig deeper without us."
This, of course, is exactly what what Jory wants. As Wolf agrees, nods, and walks to the city exit towards the ruins, Jory smiles in a villainous manner. I know I spelled villainous wrong, but I'll just roll with it. So let's see here.
As Wholf strides toward the city gate with purpose in his step and legacy on his shoulders, Jory lingers behind for a breath, his smirk curving dark and quiet beneath the shadow of his hood, a glimpse of triumph in his eyes as the path to Ashwood reopens, not for truth, but for control.
All right, so I think that will be it for this episode. Let's summarize and end session. 15 shadows at the shrine. That works. All right. That's going to be it for now, guys. I apologize for a few of the technical hiccups earlier, but we still remain using the text chat, which is fine. So as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.